we were on our habits, and we said we were going to pull up our screen times. We said we were going to do, an E versus E ratio. If you weren't on the call last week, the E versus E ratio was simply your entertainment versus your education ratio. And that means you wanted to see how much time you were spending on entertainment and how much time you're spending on education. And, just something that you should know is that the top 20% of people in the world, they focus on education and growth. And you can be in the top 20% of anything that you want to be in if you just focus on entertainment and growth. On education and growth. The bottom half, the 80% and down, they're more focused on education and they're more focused on being comfortable, not stretching, and just not growing. So I had you guys do this E versus E ratio so you can see actually where you fall. Of course, anytime you're tracking something or you're being conscious of something, you're gonna be more mindful of it so that you'll be on your P's and Q's. So whenever I fall off and I want to get back on, the first thing I do is start to track things. And like if you ever fall into a rut and you want to get back on your stuff, what you should do is automatically start tracking stuff. Like, you ever notice how in the gym where you're not, you haven't been on your stuff and you avoid the scale and you avoid getting measured or you avoid, just jotting things down. As soon as you start tracking it, you start to be more conscious of stuff and you're like, you know what, I'm on it. But I know me personally, like, I'm not weighing in. I ain't doing none of that when I'm not on it. But when I'm on it, it's like, all right, let me see what I lost today, or let me see how if I put on any muscle today. Let me see what happened today. The same thing when you're tracking your finances. You pretty much won't spend stuff because you got to write it down. So just little things like that will keep you more conscious of stuff. So what I want to do is pull up my, I did screenshot my my screen time. I screenshotted my screen time, but it didn't give me a lot of stuff. I pulled this joint up right here, and it showed me how much the most used apps, and as you can see, I got the most on Instagram. Let me see if I could 8 hours and 58 minutes worth of that was my daily average. That's a lot on the screen time. Wouldn't you agree? Anybody else check out their screen time? Track the screen time?
Yeah, I haven't. I was about to say I was 8.5 hours.
You was about the same?
Yeah.
Let me ask you, James. Where did you spend the most time?
My most was Facebook.
On Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay. You do a lot of marketing on Facebook?
I'm surprised it's not Messenger because I'm in Messenger marketing more, than that. But I do some on Facebook, and I'm trying to get more toward Instagram because I know that's where, I'm one of those slow adapters. I just got on Instagram, 45 days ago. So
okay, all right. Anybody else? So for me, mine wasn't as accurate. So I went into all of the apps and I started to look, and I wanted to see like which ones I spent the most time on, right? So I want you guys to check this part out right here. So it said 10 hours on Instagram, 8 hours on my text messages, 5 hours on my notes, 5 hours in my Safari, 2 hours and 49 minutes on YouTube. My photos and my Facebook, that rounded out those hours that I had there. Those what was it, 20 something hours? So I wanted y'all to see that real quick. But I had to go back in and get a different number for a couple of the other apps, because when I use those apps, I can actually close my screen and my screen can go black and the app will still play. So my YouTube hours were longer and my Audible hours were longer. So what I want to do is also show you guys my Audible, the time that I spent for my audiobooks. I want to show you those real quick. Now you might have to look at I might have to blow this up a little bigger for you. So this is 5 days here. And with these 5 days, it was 3 hours, it was 5 hours and some change, it was 3 hours and some change, 3 hours and some change, and 45 minutes. So this amount, in these 5 days, it amounted to about 15 hours. So I was averaging 3 hours a day on audiobooks.
That's a couple books, ain't it?
Yeah. So this is actually one book that I've been listening to the whole week, actually for 2 weeks. So I've been listening to one book for 2 weeks, and this is just 5 days of the 2 weeks that I spent on this one book. Okay. So the book that I've been on for the last 2 weeks is something that I got in 2015, but I always recycle my books and I always study my books over and over again. So this book is called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. All right, listen, if you listen to this book, I guarantee you it'll give you some of the most practical things to move you forward in your life. Trust me. This is one of the best kept secrets right here. You need to get this book and you need to put it on replay. Like when you hear it, you're going to be like, yo, I heard this before. I heard Lynch say this before. Like I heard Lynch say this 1,000 times. Like you're gonna hear like 1,000 of my speeches come out of this book right here. Like I just think that this book is all around. It's all around filled with jewels and practical stuff. Like soon as you get it, you're gonna be like, oh my God, I can't believe this, that, and the third.
What's like one of your biggest takeaways from this book so far?
Oh shit, I couldn't even start. I got the E versus E ratio from this. Like that, I mean, oh, wow. I could go on and on. You ever hear me talking about? You ever hear me talk about a 1 degree shift? You ever hear me talk about a plane sitting on a tarmac in Los Angeles, and if it's off on 1 degree and its destination is New York City, right? It can wind up in upstate New York, or it can wind up in Dover, Delaware, but it'll be 150 miles off course. So that's 1 degree. Can you imagine like how far our lives are going to be off, a year from now, 2 years from now, when we're 180 degrees turned in the wrong direction? Well, I'm only talking about 1 degree here, taking you 150 miles off course. So I'm trying to get you to course correct now, so you don't have to worry about that compound effect that happens to you over time. There's so many jewels. You just have to get this book. I constantly give speeches about, you guys ever heard the one about the person who would take $3 million today or a penny every day, compound it every day for 31 days? Well, at the end of 31 days, that penny is worth $10 million. Wow. So some people don't understand the importance of compound effect. You ever hear me talk about changing mayo from mustard? 125 calories over 31 months is going to equal like 31 pounds or something, 33 pounds or something like that. The compound effect is something that that you need to use this force in your life. But you have to, it only works if you make small, smart choices plus consistency over time. Period. That's all it works. That's the only way it works. Now, me personally, I win at everything because of the compound effect. I win at everything because I'm Mr. Consistent. I win at everything because I keep going at the same pace every single day, every single time. And by the time round 4 gets to the Metcon, everybody else is throwing up and breathing hard, and I'm still moving at the same pace, and I done lapped everybody. So I find a groove, man, and I get in it. And when I get in it, man, nobody can stop me. I just keep rolling and keep rolling and keep rolling. So if you have not checked your E versus E ratio, you should be spending more time. That's if you want to be in the top 20% of what you do. More time on education, right, than entertainment. And you should be focusing on growth instead of what feels good. So the bottom 80%, they all focus on what feels good. And that's all they do is they choose what feels good in the moment over growth, over pain, over adversity, over challenge. And the top 20%, man, all they want to do is educate themselves and grow. So you focus on that, man. Use this E versus E ratio for, wherever you go. I want you to continue to focus on your education. Turn your car into a mobile university. All right. The average American drives 12,000 miles a year in his car, and that equates to at least 300 hours. That 300 hours, you can be getting the equivalent of advanced level college degree. That's the compound effect. So just little gems like that. I gotta move forward really quick. We reviewed habits, we reviewed the E versus E ratio, but this week, man, we're talking about beliefs, and we have to go into beliefs because a lot of us we don't get to stick to our habits, or we don't keep going forward with our habits because of our beliefs. And we need to focus on 3 things today, like what are beliefs, what are our beliefs, and how do we change them? So those are the 3 things that I want to focus on right now. And the first thing that I want to tell you is, beliefs are just, they're an idea that you hold as certain, all right? And it's also an interpretation that you hold about events that you've had in the past. And a lot of times that interpretation is going to dictate what you do in the future based off of everything that you've done in the past. So basically it's just, look, it's nothing more than a program. A lot of us are operating off of a program, and we call it a belief system. That program has just come about from things we saw when we were younger, things that happened when we were younger, and we're continuing to carry these things off of conditioning over and over and over in our lives. And one thing that I want you guys to jot this down: you'll never be able to outperform your belief system. Ever. I don't care who you believe, who you think you are not, and who you think you are, but who you really are is coming up out of that belief system, and you cannot outperform that belief system. So,
say that one more time.
I said you'll never be able to outperform your belief system. So your belief is just a program. It's just a program that you operate on, and you hold these ideas. You hold these ideas in your life, and you believe you in your mind, in your subconscious mind, and you believe them to be certain. And it's your interpretation of different events and things like that happen that develops your belief system. I'm gonna put a graphic up real quick. So real quick, if you want to screenshot that, your belief is nothing more than a program. So everybody jot this down real quick. A belief is a pattern in your brain that was created and reinforced over time. So I want you to think of your belief system as like a set of lenses that you see everything through. So like personally, y'all know I got bad eyes. I be rocking glasses and everything, right? And every time I put on these glasses, I feel like I can see things clearer. And I believe I can see things clearer. I want you to think of your belief system as a set of glasses, and they have some lenses on them. And every time you put these lenses on, you see certain things. The way you see these things is your belief system. So here's what we're going to do real quick. We're going to I'm going to try to help you guys figure out what your belief systems really are. All right. So I want you to finish a couple. Say if you have to jot this down, you can jot it down. But I want you to finish a couple sentences for me. So life is like blank. So you might have somebody over there like, life is a box of chocolates. Like, you never know what you're going to get. From day to day, I'm going to take a pick and, you never know what you're going to get. I want you to, you might have somebody there with you. You might, could jot something down in your notes in your journal real quick. But what is life like to you? So for me, I'll let you guys chime in a little bit, but I just want to get your brain going a little bit. But for me, like, life is what I make it. For me, life is what I intended to be. And when I say that, I mean, like, whatever I put into life is what I'm going to get out of it. And my belief is, like, you guys hear me all the time, how you do anything is how you do everything. My business is called A Way of Life, right? And I truly believe that if you don't put the work in, then you don't get the work out. So I think and I believe that that's how life is. And for me, life is like going to the bank. See, I can't go to the bank and withdraw $1 million if I ain't got $1 million in there. I want y'all to understand what I just said. A lot of us want some things out of life and we're expecting some things, but we have not put the work in. We have not developed the mindset. We have not developed the belief system. We have not developed the habits. We have not developed the why. We have not developed the strategies, tactics, and processes, and we haven't even set our goals. So I want you guys to understand that all of these things are comprehensive and they all build on each other. Somebody chime in and tell me what life is like for you.
Yo, hey, life's a movie, baby.
Hey, I like that. So who was that?
So, hey, Lynch, this is Lewis. We are in Maryland, right next to DC, in a golf tournament. That's why I'll be in a hotel room.
Okay, it's my homeboy right here, man. He's been talking about you forever, man. I love it, man. I want to let you know I'm a big fan.
Hey.
I am a aspiring motivational speaker myself, man. So it's pretty cool to see this. But life's a movie, baby.
So he's talking in high schools. He just had a talk in high school, which I'll send to you.
Yeah, I'm actually
kids.
Yep, I'm gonna speak at a graduation next year, so I'm pretty excited.
Ooh, that's what's up, man. I had a chance to speak at my first graduation this year, man. So life is definitely like a movie for me ever since I've been home from prison. Actually, it was a movie while I was in prison. It was a movie before prison when I was the leader of an $8.3 million drug ring. Life's been a movie the whole time, man. I'm just the star of this shit. But guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna rewrite the ending so that this shit can be phenomenal. You heard me? We want the prequel, we want the sequel, we want part 2, 3, and 4. Life is definitely a movie, baby. But here, I want to say something. We have different types of belief. All right, we have internal beliefs and we have external beliefs. And sometimes we say our beliefs out loud and they really not matching up with the beliefs that we have inside. So if we're not living a movie, at this current time, then life might not really be a movie to you. So I want you to rethink that stuff because listen, some people say like they want to lose weight and at the end of the night, they got a bunch of chocolates by their bed. You understand what I'm saying? And there's I know you're not trying to lose weight. I just had to bring that up because you had the sweet tooth, James Penn. But yeah, I just had to bring that up. But there's here's how you'll understand. Here's how you'll understand your beliefs if the external and the internal beliefs are matching up. You'll say one thing, but so I have this belief that I'm going to be a millionaire, and my habits and everything line up. I'm just continuing to carry out the strategies, tactics, and processes to make that happen. Now, I'm not somewhere spending money every single chance that I get. So I see that my internal beliefs and my external beliefs are lined up. So I'm not one of those people who are saying one thing and then going out on the weekend and sabotaging everything that I'm saying out my mouth. Let me get somebody else real quick.
For me, life is a fight.
Okay. All right. So Terrell, yo, listen, dog, I love you, dog. I mess with you all the time. You're my guy, right? But life is a fight externally for you. Internally, you got to get that fight inside. All right. Internally, you got to get that fight inside, brother. I gave you one exercise the other day, and I said, yo, I just want you to go up here, and I want you to go back, and yo, you ain't have no fight in you. You sat there in that one spot for an hour and a half, dog, and you fell asleep in that spot. That was not a fight for you. If that was a fight, you threw in the goddamn towel. You heard what I said? Yo, I need you, brother, to really internalize that. And if that's what you aspire to have and you aspire to be, we're going to teach you how to change your belief system today. All right? We're going to teach you how to change that today. Let me get one more before I move on to my next one. Somebody.
Yo, life is like a mirror.
Whoa, I love that. I love it. James, expound on it.
I think life is reflecting to you and showing you more about you than itself, right? So everything that's happening around you in the external is more revealing, about you, what you can withstand, what you're capable of. We see the world the way we are, not necessarily how it is.
So how many of us are willing to accept the truth that the mirror gives us?
Cool. It's a bad situation. Most of us, it's like if you walk past the mirror, you about to head out, you check yourself in the mirror, and you don't like something that you see. Most of us, in a practical sense, in that scenario, we don't get mad at the mirror. We don't be like, I got something green in my teeth, or the outfit ain't quite right, something wrinkled or whatever. Like, you don't get mad at the mirror. You're like, I need to iron this some more. Then hold up, I got something in my teeth. I need to get this out. If we see the reflection of the mirror, if we don't like it, we go to work on fixing it. But when life gives us that mirror, we don't approach it the same way. Life showed you something, right? It showed you some broccoli in your teeth, showed you that you wasn't, quite as dope as you thought you was. We want to blame it, externally and get mad at the mirror versus saying, yo, I just got to go back and, tighten up. Hate them for 40 seconds.
Hey, James, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
All right, because when I was insecure, I used to duck the mirror. I want you to speak to all the people that duck the mirror.
Listen, are you talking about in an actual physical sense? You would duck the mirror, like literally went?
No, what I'm saying, okay, so right now we're metaphorically speaking, but I'm talking literally. When I was insecure, I used to duck the mirror. So now if we're metaphorically speaking about the mirror showing us something, we still have people that are going to duck the mirror on occasions or at all costs.
So watch this. If we're gonna talk literal, and then we're gonna go back to the metaphorical aspect of it. So if you're literally getting yourself prepared in the morning and walk out without looking in the mirror, like you stand the chance of going out and looking real jacked up, right? You might have your button might be off, you got your shirt buttoned up crazy, might have that broccoli in your teeth or whatever the case is. You not looking in the mirror doesn't take away the issue that is still there. Everybody else is still going to see it, right? You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all of the time. So it's just like, particularly amongst our community, a lot of times we might not necessarily want to go to the doctor. It might be a diagnosis that we're going to face. And we feel like as long as we don't go get the diagnosis, I don't actually have the issue. They're like, yo, if I just don't go, you know what I'm saying? Like, I never find out. But like, yo, that's going to the mirror. You not going to the mirror don't change that your button was jacked up, that you had the broccoli in your teeth, or that your life was not, going in the direction that you wanted to go in. So, first just understand that, and I know we're emotional beings, but we have to have some level of logic to understand that avoiding the mirror doesn't change the image that is really there.
Gotcha.
Avoiding the mirror doesn't change the reality of what's taking place, and everybody else see it anyway, right? So you're not hiding from anybody but yourself.
So, look, everybody, pay attention. Everyone should get a daily dose of the mirror. Hey, don't duck the mirror. Make sure you look at the mirror. Really quick, people treat me, finish the sentence. I said people treat me with kindness and respect. People treat me with kindness and respect because I give kindness and respect. I see some of y'all thinking, how do people treat some of you? It sounded like you wanted to say something, Terrell. Was that you?
Yes. Since I lost my leg, a lot of people treat me with empathy and compassion. And sometimes with their empathy, they lack the understanding of what I really go through and what I really deal with.
Yeah. So I think you're using the word empathy and sympathy wrong. See, empathy is when you can put yourself in someone else's shoes, and a lot of people can't. That's why they lack the compassion. So when I deal with you, I try not to give you sympathy. I strive not to give you sympathy. The other day, I parked that chair outside of the gym. The other day, I wanted that chair to stay out there because I'm like, ain't no sitting down here. I'm like, I don't give a damn if you got one leg or not. I'm trying to make you get out of that chair. I'm trying to make you fight. My belief is that you don't need the chair. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to get you to move into a different belief. And we're going to get to that. We're going to get to all that stuff in a second when we talk about reprogramming you. Somebody else, tell me how people treat you.
I got you.
Who that, Nishad? Talk to me, baby.
Yeah. I would say people treat me with goodness and positivity because that's what I give to the world. And I've always been one of those people, I don't care since MySpace and all of the other stuff been out, I never said shout out to my haters because it never really been anything that's been tangible to me because I genuinely walk in love, I walk in goodness. That doesn't mean I'm perfect, or I mean I don't get perfect results, but I genuinely believe if that's what you emanate, the people who are negative, either they'll stay around you or they'll still be attracted to you, but they can't get close enough. And everybody else who you interact with, they will treat you, they'll reciprocate what you give to the universe. That's what I get from people. I don't got a negative report.
That's good. Yo, don't make me be the teacher. Marcus Hood, how do people treat you?
A lot of times people treat me with, respect, but
I definitely respect Marcus Hood.
I do too. That's my guy.
But people, honestly, man, they treat me as an opportunity because they know they use my kindness as an opportunity to try to get ahead because of the different things that I do and the different things that I offer to people. And I guess I just treat it as an opportunity, like I'm an opportunist or something like that.
Okay, all right. Yo, hold that, Marcus, because we got to change that tonight. We're going to change that. I want you to hold that. That's a limiting belief that you have right there, and we got to change that. Anybody else? Go ahead, Rob. I hear you want to jump in there. I see you playing double dutch.
Sure. I was nice at that in elementary, though. But I believe people treat me with love and respect. I'm gonna say, if I'm gonna use two words, I'm gonna say love and positivity. Like Nishad said, I've been getting a numerous amount of love, considering my situation right now, and I would say I deserve it, but it's coming from strangers. I'm getting love from people that ain't never met me a single day in my life, and so I just I look at that as
So how do they know to give you love for your situation?
From what let them tell it, it's just based off the persona that they feel or believe that I have based on Facebook posts, Instagram posts, inspiring, uplifting individuals, and then them themselves
sound like sympathy.
Nah, it's not sympathy.
They don't even know you. They don't even know you. So they see a situation and they giving out something, I think they feel sorry.
That's one belief, or that's one perspective, I would say. I mean, because it's not. I wouldn't say what they're giving is something to feel sorry for. And I give a lot to people that, I mean, it's not necessarily anything that they need.
So now it's just coming back now. The love is coming back.
Yes, sir. That's how I would say it.
All right, so it ain't coming back from a Facebook post then, because you can't sow and reap in the same season. So you ain't put that post up today, and then they showed you love today based off of that Facebook post, and it don't work like that. If you plant a seed today, tomatoes not coming up tomorrow. Matter of fact, they're not coming up right after you put the joint in. It's not happening. Corn not coming up. Trees not coming up. None of that stuff is coming up today. So, I just want you to understand that we're gonna change it all today anyway. We're gonna change it all today. It's all good. I appreciate everybody on this call. Real quick, I want to hear somebody's relationship with money. Money comes to me. Let me hear something. You can interchange some of them words. Go ahead. Let me hear your relationship with money. For me, I believe that money comes to me frequently and often because of the value that I bring to everyone and everything. I'm going to say that again. I believe that money comes to me frequently and often because of the value that I bring to everyone and everything. Since I was a kid, I've walked around with my own bread. And I used to walk around and add value to the neighborhood by raking leaves and shoveling snow and cutting hair and doing all different types of stuff. I was earning my keep, and I would be in the locker room cutting hairs, and I would keep some bread, man. Money just, every time I turn around, somebody, gotta get my hair cut. I got something for you to do. I got something for you to do. And that stuff has carried with me, everywhere I went. Regardless of even when I was in jail, I didn't really have to worry about where the money orders were going to come from, and I didn't even call nobody and ask nobody for nothing. People used to just drop it on me. So I didn't make a post. I didn't reach out. People were just going. The season that I was in, when I used to just give out bread, people just like, L down right now. We're gonna give them something back. So 5 years prior to that, you might got somebody to come back and drop something on you and stuff like that. But I ain't even call people and be like, I ain't even call my mom and ask her for nothing. And even when they wanted to come, I used to be like, nah, y'all, I'm good. Like, you ain't got to come 8 hours away. I'm straight. So, you know what I mean? I just believe that everything that I do, like people call me now for speaking engagements because I add value to the community. There's a lot of speakers out there, but they're not calling everybody as frequently as they're calling me. I add value. All right. There's a lot of trainers out there, but we're training more people before 7:30 in the morning than people are training in 5 months. We train 100 people before 7:30. See, I believe that money comes to me frequently and often. I wouldn't have aspirations to have 200 gyms if I didn't believe that it came to me frequently and often. If I didn't believe that, then I would be happy with the one little joint that we got right now. Somebody else tell me they relationship with money.
Hey, Lynch, this is Marcus. I believe the same thing, man. You have the same, almost the same thing. I can create. I don't care where I go. I can create a source of income, and I look at the need of the people, and I create it based on the need of the people, and that's just something that I've always done. Even in school, like you said, I was selling bubble gum, and I was just creating an atmosphere for money to come my way. And once I got finished with it, I was still getting residual from it. So that's one of the things I think it comes my way too.
And you can see the evidence of that in your life, though.
Right.
So you guys, I want you to respect my cuts. Okay, cuts are made to kill, and cuts are made to heal. All right, you got somebody on the street that come at you with a knife, and when they trying to cut you, they trying to kill you. But you got a surgeon, right? And he got his knife. When he cut you, he cutting you to heal you. All right, so I'm coming both ways. I'm coming to kill you because something got to die for something to live, and I'm coming to heal you. So I want you to respect my cuts, because ain't nobody in your life going to cut you the way I'm going to cut you. And if I know your situation, then I'm going to keep it 100 with you. So it ain't nothing but me helping you become more introspective. So please just respect my cuts. But yeah, Marcus, I'm in total agreement with you, because you can see that through all things services. Real quick, let's go one more. I want to hear about your relationships.
Coach Lynch.
Go ahead, London.
Relationships as far as spouse, brother, friend.
Relationships. Period.
Okay, so my brother and I, we had a big disagreement about a year ago, and we haven't spoke for about a year. And I tried to reach out to him several times, and he didn't want to talk to me or whatever due to the falling out. So I gave it some time. So I got some advice from some friends and things, and they said, man, you need to just keep reaching out to him. And I called him, and it's funny, man, how things are starting to just play into place. When I called him, we spoke, and he was like, man, that's behind me. I said, man, let's just squash that. He's like, yeah, that's been behind me. He was like, brother, I still love you. I said, man, I still love you too. I said, but what you said to me, made me say from what you said to me, I had to respond back with some other stuff. So, we came back together. Even though we had some disagreements, we didn't speak for over a year, but there's a lot of other stuff going around, like that you mentioned in a previous video. You said maybe that father wasn't in that child's life because, hey, he would have picked up some drugs or something, or he would have molested someone. But my brother, he was going through a lot, and I was going through a lot. And now we definitely understand the reason why we took that time apart from talking, from each other. But we've always had a strong relationship, a tight connection, and we went out of our ways to help one another and do things with one another. So as far as the relationship with my brother, that's what I can share.
Okay, I thank you for sharing that. I want to get to your beliefs about relationships, though, because if you understood your core belief about relationships, you may not have went a year or so without speaking to him. And then when you started speaking to him again and he said it was behind him, you probably still wouldn't have had to come up and say, well, what I said was because of this, that, and third. Once he said it was behind him, then that was neither here nor there. You didn't have to go there. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, but somebody out there, give me something. For me, relationships are a reflection of who I am, and I am whole and complete, right? So I attract that which I am. Did y'all get that?
I like that.
I said relationships are a reflection of who I am. And since I'm whole and complete, I'm going to attract that which who I am.
So I got relationships are assets. I magnetically attract great people and build reciprocal benefit.
Ooh, I love that, boy. Maybe that's how you met me.
It was attractive. It was attractive for sure.
Divine. Somebody give me one. I like that. Y'all see how he put it together?
I got, for me, relationships are nourishing and flourishing as I continue to do the same for myself.
Good. I like that. Rob.
Hold on, say that again.
He said relationships are nourishing and flourishing as I continue to do the same for myself.
Bars.
Bars.
I got one.
Go ahead. Who that? Terrell, go ahead.
Yeah. Relationships are bridges to build better people.
Okay.
That's good stuff.
I like that. Well, I like that. Who else? Come on, somebody.
Yeah. I'm saying relationship is value.
Relationships is value.
Whether it's a breach or something in a relationship, I go ahead and look at myself first. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, it's a reflection of me. That's a relationship is value.
That's in it for a minute. Who that?
Yeah.
In it for a minute. All right, in it for a minute. Go ahead. Who else? I like that.
Hey, Coach, I wrote the same thing you said down about relationships being a reflection. I just screenshotted it so you would know I took it. But when I was about a year ago, when I was like upset with my wife and not happy with how things were going, I didn't realize that it was really a reflection of me being unhappy with myself.
Okay.
And so that's what helped me realize that relationships are a reflection of who I am, especially in that relationship. So I literally wrote the same thing you said there.
So are you striving to be better? Are you striving to make that change so that you can see that change outside of you as well?
Absolutely. I literally had to go to counseling, man, just to help me to identify triggers and what was causing me to behave and do things I was doing.
Good.
And that helped out a lot.
Okay, so really quick, everybody, I want you to jot this down. Yo, in the language is where we discover what we believe to be true. So in order so in that language, right, is where we discover what we believe to be true. So when you finish that sentence in that language right there, whatever you put, life is like, that's what you believe to be true. That's where your belief is. So we're actually identifying our beliefs by finishing these sentences. This is what we actually believe. Some of us are giving us our external version of finishing this sentence, and it's okay. Because if you ask yourself this later on tonight when nobody's on the call and you come up with what you really believe, then that's what you're going to hold to be true. But here's what I'm going to tell you, right? You'll continue to attract the situations in resident with that right there. So whatever it is you truly believe, you'll continue to attract that. So, Council, I'm not saying this to, all I'm saying is if you truly believe that it's a reflection of you and you don't change, but you still see that disagreement, you still see that those rough times between you and her, then you're not really changing personally because you don't believe that it's a reflection. So if you believe that it's a reflection, then you'll continue to change to get better so that your external circumstances will be better. Does that make sense?
100%. I agree.
I just wanted to use that as an example for everyone else.
Yes, sir. I understand 100%.
Anybody else out there that need a little bit more clarification on that? So, I believe that, that relationships, that they're a reflection of who I am. And I have multiple levels of me. All right. And sometimes I attract a different level of me. Does that make sense? So what I have to do to get better as a human being, as a person, as a man of God, is to vibrate on my higher frequency at all times. If I'm not vibrating on my highest frequency at all times, then sometimes I attract that middle frequency or that lower frequency. And I'll be just externally expressing a high frequency when internally I'm really vibrating on a lower frequency, and then I'm attracting other things into my life. I'm just trying to help some of y'all become transparent by me being transparent at this time right now. So for the most part, I attract a lot of positive people and positive energy and people of value and people with money and all these different types of things. So, we even had a talk the other day. We were talking about, how I attract the Adrian Smiths with 19 McDonald's, the Damian Mills with 19 car lots across North Carolina, the Bishop Pierces, the Max Maxwells, the Rod Browns, all these different. I attract all these people, but I also attract the people from the IRC across the street. I also attract the homies that just came home. I also track the hustlers that's trying to get out the game. I need y'all to understand what I'm saying. Y'all be seeing y'all see the mesh of people that come in there? And they all come in for the same type of thing. So what I want you to realize and understand is when you are operating on, you have multiple frequencies, everything is drawn to the light. I'm gonna say that again. I might have been too deep for y'all real quick. Yo, the light attracts bugs, huh? The light attracts everything. Insects, huh? Deers, everything. So when you make up your mind to become the light, huh? Then you ain't gonna be sitting somewhere by yourself. You're gonna wind up, right? Attracting a lot of different stuff. I want y'all to think about that real hard. I'm listening.
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
And it's a little off topic from belief, but as you continue to ascend, of course, somebody in the influential position that you're in, and you're doing stuff, you're moving, you're speaking, and everything. People start wanting to get around you. Like you said, you light, so the brighter you shine and burn, the more are attracted. What's your process? What's your system of discerning and weeding out like what people's motives are as they're coming in and having access and you follow what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
I determine what's the buzz.
So one of my gifts was spending so much time in the street and spending time in prison. Like those was gifts where you had to have your guard up, but you don't gotta be like this. So like I got discernment, but I'm able to peep a frequency, I'm able to peep a vibe, I'm able to peep an angle, in like 29 seconds. If not, then look, I jab, I keep them off me, until I figure it out. All right, what's the motive? You know what I'm saying? What they coming for? Like everybody coming for something. You know what I'm saying? Everybody coming for something, and it's all good. You know what I mean? And sometimes I'm coming for something too. So you know what I mean? We just got to figure out if it's the art of reciprocity is going to be involved. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have to figure out if what I'm serving, I'm getting paid for, and what they paying for, they getting served for. You understand what I'm saying? So we got to make sure that fair exchange ain't no robbery. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you're going to get stuck up. You know what I mean? Sometimes somebody going to get the drop on you. But the way where I come from, I just got to live to see another day. I get up. I still give it up here. Because I know that I got abundance of it where it's coming from. As long as I'm sticking around for the next day, then I'm going to make it back plus more. You understand what I'm saying? They needed it more than me. So they come. They might get a little something off. They got me on that one. But you best believe I'm winning 9 out of 10. I'm winning 9 out of 10. And I'm using discernment like a mug, man. Look, I got my discernment boxing gloves on. You know what I mean? I got my wisdom boxing gloves on. You know what I mean? I got my knowledge, wisdom, understanding, discernment, value. I got it all on. And I'm trying to knock them off and I'm getting hit sometimes and all that. But life is a fight. Life is a fight, baby. Whatever you want to call it, man. I'm telling you, I'm going to be the realest teacher. I'm going to be the realest brother. I'm going to be the realest coach. I'm going to be the realest mentor that you ever have because I'm going to keep it all the way 100 with you. You hear me? Sometimes you don't know all that stuff. So real quick, let's talk about how we change them, y'all. Now I know y'all like, yeah. Let's get to the good stuff. So look, nobody can acquire a thing without first having a state of mind first. You got to have the state of mind of belief before you even acquire it. That's why I'm always harping on everybody about becoming. All right? You have to become what you want first, and you can't become that if you do not believe that. All right, so once I finally acquire the zeros to go with the stuff that I'm talking about, then it'll just be confirmation from what I believed and I became prior to that. So I tell you that you can't be the person that you used to be and the person you want to be at the same time. So you got to become who you want to be now. So you got to start doing different things. Hence the nap. Look, the nap didn't have to go, but if you change the schedule, then boom, you got more compelling enough why so that you can push through all the stuff that you've been doing to change your damn schedule. So, I mean, you guys will figure that part out later. But here's what I want you to do real quick. we all got a built-in governor, right? And you ever, like a school bus, a school bus can't go past a certain speed. Back in the day, like a moped or, you know what I'm talking about, them little scooters they be driving around on the street, stuff like that. They got governors on them and they can't go past a certain speed. So in our lives, in our subconscious mind, we got built-in governors. And the reason why we're not achieving those goals that we're aspiring to achieve is because the built-in governor, which is called our belief system. So you'll never be able to outperform that governor until you start doing the things you need to do to become a mechanic, right? To take that governor off your joint and soup up your vehicle. You know what I'm talking about? So we can go a little faster with that joint. So there's 3 things that we can do to change the beliefs. One is to put ourselves in circumstances to build a whole new confidence and a whole new belief system. So you ever, was it this week or was it a couple days ago? I told you to burn the boats, James. Remember I was like, burn the boats. I was like, ain't no going back. So like, let's say we're in the gym and I put a certain weight on there. And if I put a certain weight on there, there's no way that I'm going to allow you to modify it after you do that weight. All right, that's called burning the boats. That's called putting yourself in a circumstance where it has to be done. All right, and we do this. I do this with money. I do this with bills. I do this with just all different types of stuff. I do it with a public display of accountability. Like I'll go on Facebook and these Zoom calls and stuff like that and say, yo, I'm going to do this by this date. I put myself in a circumstance where I have to do it. And everybody doesn't do that. But what you can do is you can get into an environment where people like me do it. Where with Terrell, I put his damn wheelchair outside of the damn gym the other day. So I'm like, yo, fuck that. Like you about to walk down there and you go out to walk back. When you get back to your chair, then you can sit down.
No, you know the words you remember the words you said this morning?
What I said?
It was in my head the whole workout. When you came by, we was working up to our working weight.
Yeah.
You said, hey. You said no retreat, no surrender.
That's right.
You said no retreat, no surrender.
That's right, baby.
That shit was in my head the whole time.
I'll be real with it, dog. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to cut you to kill. You know what I mean? But that's good because once it gets in your subconscious mind, then you start to build confidence like, yo, I have to go. Like, I have to do this. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what the becoming portion is all about. That's what last week was all about. Habits were all about routines. So I want you to think about the army or the military when people are in basic training, right? They take a young, slothful teenager, 18, 19 years old, right? And in 12 weeks, they build them up into a killing machine, a soldier, somebody that can protect and load in the middle of fire and combat. And the reason why they have to go through all that rigorous training is so that they have their routine down packed. So when people start killing them and their life's on the line, they'll be able to boom, boom. So this morning I woke up at 3:38. I usually wake up at 2:45. But my routines, right? I've become this person for so long for times like this. My routine is so down packed that I didn't even panic. I still made it to work before 4:05. I didn't call Mike. I didn't say, Mike, I woke up late. Mike, I need you to hold me down. I didn't do none of that. I just boom, and I just kept knocking out my daily checklist. Boom, checklist, boom, checklist, boom, checklist. I'm a certified killer based off the routine. Yo, you got to get these routines down. The habit stuff, I really wanted to go back to habits and didn't want to go to beliefs now. But I want you guys to understand why each week is so important and why you have to do this stuff. Each one builds off the other and it gives you confidence to move on to the other. if you don't move on, if you don't have the confidence to move on to the other, you will be stuck at strategies, tactics, and processes. You'll be stuck with your habits running your life. You'll be stuck in trying to figure out your why. So you have to do this stuff day in and day out, or we'll never be able to get on to the next phase. And these are all comprehensive. They move on, they build on one another. I want to take a couple questions real quick, or comments. I want to take a few things, man. Just on this whole belief thing. But go ahead, somebody give me something.
This Nishad, I got a question.
Go ahead.
So the last thing you started to talk about is how to change our beliefs. And
yes.
I've been listening to As a Man Thinketh again, and I know one of the things that James Allen said in that book was, he said that men are anxious to improve their circumstances but are unwilling to improve themselves.
Yes, sir.
And then we go back to that core principle, which is as a man thinketh, so is he. So everything that we do is based out of our belief system, out of what we really believe about ourselves in the world. So, but if our belief system is created over the experiences in our life, some of them being traumatic, some of them just being, what we've been told, being, trying to deprogram, what would you say is like the greatest weapon in actually deprogramming and reprogramming your subconscious mind in a way that your belief system is sustainable, so that you said that I attract people. I'm whole and complete, so I attract people that's whole and complete. So while people are becoming whole and complete, what would you say is the most, what's the weapon that we can do, to continue to grow and change your belief system so that you can have that powerful life that you talk about?
I'm gonna give you 3. Is that fair?
I'm always with it.
Okay, cool. So one, the first step is you have to become aware. And the reason why I gave you guys those lines so you could finish the sentence, so you could become aware of your belief systems. So, what did I say? I said, I said that, life is like, for me, right? I said, life is what I intend it to be. That means what I put in is what I get out. That means success is intentional. That means every step I got to be intending on taking it towards that way. So once I become aware of my beliefs then I need to focus on, here's number 2. I'm going to focus on the consequence of believing in that. So if I focus on the consequence of that belief, I'm going to find out what that belief actually gets me. And then I'll understand if it's a limiting belief or an empowering belief. I need that to make sense to you, Nishad. I want you to focus on the consequences of believing in that belief. So when you believe in a certain belief, there's a consequence that comes with that. And if it's not empowering, then it's limiting. If it's limiting, then we have to change it. All right, and this is how we're going to change it too. We're going to build this is how we change the limiting belief. We're going to build a new reference from a new experience. So our beliefs are shaped from our past experiences, right? And the way we feel about those experiences gives us that reference. And we hold on to that, right? Like we're holding on to that idea that we've created over time that's been reinforced, but we got to find a whole new one. So let's say James Penn. James Penn has, you got shot when you were a baby or something like that, right? Very
18 months old.
18 months old, James Penn got shot. You got shot by your father?
Yeah, my right hip. Yep, my mom was holding me. My mom had divorced my dad. He didn't take it so well. He came up with a sawed-off shotgun, shot her. She was holding me, hit me in the right hip.
Yo, very, very compelling. Look, and a lot of y'all are like, oh my God, right? James Penn is here doing his thing, right? So now when he come in, I don't allow James Penn to give me his hip, shot in the hip when he was 18, all that. I don't allow him to do that. I'll be like, yo, try it. I get him to build a new reference from a new experience so that now he can't give me that limiting belief no more, because every time you defend your limitations, you get to keep them. That got to be a fact for y'all. All right, so what I do is, look, I make him have a whole new reference. So what I told him the other day was we were doing some hamstring sliders on the joint. And I know that the hip is on the front side, right? And I know the back side is what is the opposite side of the hip. So his hamstrings got to be pretty strong if he's missing a damn hip, right? But he was telling me that he couldn't do the hamstring exercise. So since I know anatomy and physiology, I'm like, bullshit. One thing that I know you got is a strong hamstring because you ain't got no hip. So I said, do the damn hamstring slides. And guess what he did? He did hamstring slides. And then I said, yo, do it on one leg then. If you can't do it on that leg, then do it on one leg. And he started to get confidence. So he get accomplishment, he get confidence, and he gets empowerment. And that changes the whole entire belief by reference. But look, if he was not in the environment, you hear what I said? Sometimes you got to foster the environment to help you change the narrative, to help you change the belief. You got to get around some people who have a different belief. So there's ways you put yourself in the circumstances, yes, but you can also you can do it through associations and environment. You can put yourself in these environments to help you foster the belief to move you past where you are. And that'll install some very new beliefs. Yo, we got some great stuff going on here, man. I'm telling you, if you guys just take some notes, if you guys watch this call again, if you guys listen to some stuff, if you guys keep it real with yourself, if you guys become aware right now, all right? So there's a lot of times where it'll take me each time I can get to it faster. So before it used to take me a year to figure out what it was. Then it started to take me 6 months. Then it started to take me 3 months. Then it started to take me a week. Then it started to take me a couple days. And then I don't stay in my stuff for too long now, all because the consciousness, the more you become, right, the faster you'll grow and go to wherever it is you're trying to get to. But if you still taking 3 weeks or still taking a year to figure out this, that, and the third, if you still taking you 2 months before you snap back off the diet and get back on the joint, then you really not becoming the person you need to become because you don't believe you're the person that can deserve that outcome, man. Somebody talk to me, man. I want to answer another question. Great job, Nishad, on that question.
Shoot, if anybody gonna chime in, man, I just want to illuminate that part about the association and environment when we talk about changing that belief. You know, success when it comes to belief, and we think of races. We think the important part of a race is the finish line, and that's not necessarily the case. In every race. In relays, it's about the exchange. It's about the exchange zones, right? My daughter runs relay. You mess up at the exchange, that's not where it's at. So everybody who's on here right now, you're at the relay zone. You're at the exchange. Like coach is exchanging. He's passing the baton of belief right now. Right? I put it in the comments, right? The way you catch belief is where you catch a code, right? How you catch a code? Get around somebody else with a code. You get a code, right? So you get around somebody else with belief, you get belief. And everybody's belief right now in this moment on this call, being around other powerful kings, being, led by a coach, our belief is higher at this moment right now. Yes, when you get off the call and it's going to start going down, you get convinced. You get convinced of the information that you're getting on this call, but tomorrow you'll be less convinced when you're not in the environment, right? It's not till you're convinced over and over and over that it becomes a conviction. Yes. We have to continue to put ourselves in these environments, these beliefs, all beliefs. Nothing's static. It's always changing, right? Like they say, motivation doesn't last. But guess what? Beliefs don't last, but neither do showers. That's why we recommend doing it daily, right? So you have to be programming your belief daily because what you believe now, won't be the same if you don't continue to reinforce that belief over and over. I think you even said it earlier, Coach, about your definition of belief. Reinforce was in there, right? Yes, sir. We have to continually reinforce that belief, and the best way to do it, man, is to be in the exchange zone where belief is being passed.
Yes, sir. Great job, man. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate you adding value to the call as well. Who else on there? Anybody else?
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I got. So what's something that you do to work on emotional strength?
Emotional strength?
Yeah, strengthening up your feelings and your emotions.
All right, so every time you look at something, you're going to see it for something, and you're going to see it based off of a past reference. That past reference also has a feeling connected to it. Me personally, my belief system doesn't allow me to be emotional off the break or off the rip. I've never been an emotional type of dude. So I've conditioned myself to be proactive instead of reactive. You heard what I said? Pro, right, means before. So if I'm able to act beforehand, then I'm not moving after you get. So what happens is you get a reaction from what's going on, and then you respond. But you want to be able to move beforehand, and that is by being armed with a whole bunch of different techniques and tactics to handle these type of things. So there's not a lot of different scenarios that are going to play out in the world, in your life. You should be able to have a move for defense. You should be able to have a wax on and a wax off when something ticks you off. You should have a wax on or wax off when somebody steps to you. You should have a wax on or wax off when somebody get the drop on you. Like, you should have some type of defense mechanism already lined up so that you're not moving like I don't want to say, like a broad, but broads are emotional creatures. So I pride myself in being able to think really swiftly. Is there anybody else that like thinks a lot before they react? Anybody else out there?
I do now, but unlike you, I'm a little different. I am an emotional man, highly emotional. I don't know if I get that from being raised by my mom, but I'm usually by your mom too. But like, I just happen to be, I don't know if it's a Pisces thing or a Rob thing, but like, I'm super emotional, and I, in the not too far past, it used to be used to my demise, but I'm now beginning to use it to my benefit. Kind of like you said, turn adversity into advantage. So I would just say, my man, the way I strengthen, or the way I focus, putting logic and rationale before emotion, is just that 1 + 1 always equals 2, and it ain't no emotion in that. It's just is what it is. So I mean, I tell myself when I'm facing a lot of emotional things right now. Every time my emotions arise, I literally count to 10 in my head and say, "Hold up, you counting to 10 because math is logic, and logic should come before emotion."
That's good. That's good. So you look. There's always an answer to every problem, right? There's always a solution. There's always a way out to everything. Now, what you have to ask yourself is, do I want to figure out this way out mad, or do I want to figure it out in a state where I could actually think my way through it? Because once you get emotionally disturbed, once you get emotional, then that word translates to disturbance. And once you get disturbed, it's kind of hard for you to think rational, and you're going to be in an irrational state then. So you gotta kind of be careful with your emotions. I say slow down and put together something like so what I normally I have a bunch of like affirmations and stuff like that in the play, but I'm not a cat that angers fast. Like I'm not like that. I'm just like, oh, what's going on, my man? He's tripping. I'll take 2-3 steps back. I make sure ain't nobody about to swing, and then we get to the bottom of it.
Hey, Lynch, I wanted to address a little bit of something what I think I heard my man say. It's just kind of on my mind to say, because I know my man's asked the question like, how do you build emotional strength? And that can be, I think a lot of times when we think about men and we think about masculinity and emotions, we go to anger. But emotions in itself can mean a lot of different things. It can be, dealing with healing from different hurts or different whatever that is. But, you know, the ability to emote feelings in themselves, that's actually a good thing to do, to be able to feel, to be able to discern. However, if you don't have principles or things to help self-govern your emotions, or you don't have things that are higher than just how you feel, that's where it becomes reckless. So one of the things to help my mans out, one of the things that have helped me, because I do emote a lot, and I think it's a gift for me to be able to feel deeply and speak from my heart is a gift. But at the end of the day, when it's not directed and I don't have principles, it can be unproductive. So one of the things that helped me is I read a book a few years ago called The 4 Agreements. And one of the 4 agreements is don't take things personally. So, but when you take that principle, you read the book and you know, meditate on that. You know, I remember that was one of the first ones that I had to really work to practice. So I wrote it on each one of my mirrors. I wrote it in my notebooks. It was saved in my screensavers, all 4 of the agreements. But that one would come back to me until I program my subconscious mind, because you do have the ability to program your mind to work in conjunction with your emotions and your feelings, so that whenever somebody says something or do something that you don't think is favorable, your emotions might say to feel, but you have the ability to govern yourself in a way that brings power to your feelings. So you can say, I got a principle. My principle is I don't take things personal. So now I can seek understanding rather than just go based on my feelings, which could lead you, which could be, you know, could misguide you. So I just want to kind of add that.
Yeah.
Not only talk about anger.
That's dope. Write this down real quick. Everybody write this down real quick. WAR. WARR. And this is the way you deal with your emotions. All right, your feelings are real. They're going to be there. I know they're there. All right, WAR. The W is for you to witness it. All right, I want you to witness your feelings. They are there. They are real. Don't act like they're not there. Witness it. The A, I want you to allow them to be there. Give them a minute and allow them to be there. Witness it, allow it. Now the first R, you're going to release it. You ain't never going to get no more game like this, man, in your life, man. Witness it, allow it, release it, right? Now, here's what makes me the man that I am today. I recycle it. The last R, you need to recycle it. See, some of y'all letting them feelings get to you, right? But I'm taking them feelings and I'm recycling them. And I'm using them for fuel. I had to go to that store with a note that said, can we have a pound of bologna and a half a pound of cheese and a loaf of bread till Friday? I ain't running around, you know what I mean, talk about we was poor and all that other stuff. Nah, you know what I did? I went and started hustling. I went and started getting me some money. I wasn't never going back in the store again with a note, period. Now I walk in the store with a signature, y'all. You heard what I said? We still getting stuff on the sign. I just flipped the script. 800 credit scores and all that. Go ahead, witness it, allow it, release it, and recycle it. You should be able to use that and take that with you for the rest of your life to deal with your feelings, all right? It's war, all right? War, it's always you versus you. If you get into your feelings, the biggest war you ever gonna fight is you versus you. And once you get into your feelings, it's all out war, man. But what you need to do is, before you make that dangerous, right, angry mistake, I want you to witness it, allow it, release it, and recycle it. I know you like that shit, James Penn. He's still on that right there. He's still in it now. Look at him. I see him. Content king, boy. Somebody give me one more before we go. Huh?
No, I was just saying my notepad on fire.
Yeah. Uncashed checks, baby. The notes are uncashed checks. If you ain't writing notes, you can't go back and get that money, baby. You can't go back and get that money. Where'd my water go? Give me one more question before we cut it off, y'all. That's it?
Oh, yeah, I got a question.
Go ahead, Terrell. I feel like cussing you out.
Today, in your speech this morning, you talked about consistency.
Yes, sir.
And my question is, what consistency, what was you, besides this, besides discipline, how else can you build consistency?
Yo, success cannot be obtained in the absence of discipline. So we can't get around. You cannot be consistent without discipline. Just think about it. Like, where else you want to go? What you like? I don't want to be disciplined, so like I want to be consistent, but I don't want to be disciplined. Shit. Wait, Mike, what are you talking about, Mike? What that nigga talking about, Mike?
I don't know. You know, it start with 1 day at a time. It's consistency. 1 hour at a time. 1 minute at a time. It's being consistent. Whatever you're doing. I just talked about that when I left the gym. Just being, you know, it takes all of these steps to be great, but it starts with 1 hour, 1 day, 1 minute. You know, those types of things that you have to figure out first. You know, and it's a minute by minute process. It really ain't no, you know, you don't just wake up and you great. You gotta take all of the steps of development in order, and consistency is part of discipline. It's part of all of that. All right, what did he say? You can't have discipline is the father of all. You know, what is that? Discipline is the father of all principles.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have anything if you're not really disciplined. So, you know, you can start your discipline with consistency, and it just starts with 1 step at a time. Come in 1 day, T. Then you don't look at the whole week. And I know, like last week, you kind of like mailed it in because we start talking about how many days it takes to be consistent, and it was like, oh, I only came 2 days this week, so I ain't gonna come on Friday. But you can't do that. Like, consistency restarts too. You know, as soon as you're not consistent, you can get back on. He just said, how long is it gonna take you to deal with it and come back? That's part of the discipline in doing anything.
Yeah, so you also can condition yourself the other way too, Terrell. So, you know, just keep that stuff in mind when we're trying to get you to come 4 and 5 days out of 5. You know, if you get the 2 and you're like, well, since I didn't do 3 or 4, you condition yourself to do less than that. So, you know, that's gonna be just as hard to break as well. So you'll get it together.
Can I capitalize on that?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so, and then another thing that I think about when it comes to consistency too is I think a lot of times we forget that, you know, we're like balls of energy that gives off energy to the universe. And so if you think about it, the more work you put in, the more energy you put towards a dream, you know, the fact that we're creators, the better off you're at creating that. So the more energy you put off towards that by being consistent, doing the thing every day, you put off more energy to attract to you whatever it is that you imagine or whatever it is that you dream of. But if you don't be consistent with it, you don't put the energy out there to attract the things and the people that you want to you. So I always think about it as a manifestation thing. If I don't stay consistent, I can't manifest the things that I want. They don't come by itself. It has to come by the energy that I put out there. So, you know, I just try to keep my mind on that. That kind of helps me, you know, continue to go out there and continue to attract the dream towards me.
Thank you for that, man. We appreciate it. Yo, next week, man, we got the big why. Next week we got the big why. So y'all dial in 7 o'clock, same time. Yo, I'll holla at y'all on the next one, man. Yo, appreciate y'all, man. King's Court, we out, man. Royalty, abundance. We seeking it and we getting it. We blessed, baby. I'll see y'all on the next one.